Bob Carr for the Bob Carr Show. In the studio today, I got Ken from PCR. Ken, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So what's happening in your world? I understand you're a fellow contractor like us. And
Yes,
we're
sir.
in the same geographical area here in Crofton.
Yeah, right up the street, man. Like literally right up the street. So it was
gotcha.
nice to get over here.
I got you. Well, welcome. I'm glad you took a couple minutes out of your busy day to stop in and say hello.
Absolutely. I was flattered to get the invite. You've got a great team here.
So what's going on in your world? What all that you take care of?
We do roofing, we do solar, and we do bathrooms. So kind of interior, exterior remodeling. And then the solar was something that, we have PCR solar, PCR roofing, PCR bathrooms, and each individual division has a VP that runs that. And we try to kind of complement, how often can we touch, we love our clients, and hopefully our clients love us. And, they were kind of asking, well, what else do you do? You probably experienced this where they think that you do literally everything, landscaping, anything. And while we know a lot of people that do it, we don't do it. You know what I mean? So what we tried to do is originally we started with just exterior remodeling. We would do roofing, siding, windows, doors. That's traditionally the model there with companies like Thompson Creek and some other companies that are local. Sure. And then we had COVID happen, and the availability of a lot of these products just made it to where it was kind of easier to focus on. Roofing was the one constant we could get. We used to do decks a whole lot. That was something that I really enjoyed, putting those together and selling those. But it was just, wood was a nightmare, and a lot of the products just became windows, became really hard to get. So we focused on what we could get, and a couple years later, that was actually 2 companies ago, I had a partner, and then Potomac started exploring the insurance side of the roofing industry. We wanted to see what that was all about and how we could help our clients with that, and so we've been doing that ever since for the last couple years. Potomac is still very much in its infancy. It's only really in its 2.5 year as far as operating and doing real business. The licensing is puts it into year 3, but as far as really doing local business, we're about 2.5 years in. The other company would have put us into about 6 years in, but that was with an old partner, neither here nor there. Potomac is all that matters.
Ken, outside of PCR, what else are you involved in?
We've got 2 other companies, but the current, I would say, passion project is Blue Collar.
Passionate, baby. Passionate.
That's right.
Tell me about it. Come on.
I'll tell you all about it, man. That's
Light
my
it up.
passion project.
Come on, Ken.
Blue Collar Ballers is... It's for blue collar service, or I would say home services professionals, and whether they're sales or maybe they got their tools on, they want to take them off, and they want to learn the business side, they want to learn the sales side. I mean, I've been in that position. I wasn't always in the sales side of this game, and it was when I learned how to sell these materials, and I feel like everybody that's ever made that transition learns like, okay, this is where it's at. You know what I mean? And so what we do is, we find typically our demographic is going to be somebody maybe in like their first year in business or early on in business that having success, but they're trying to scale and they just don't know what to do. And gotcha. I know that I've been there. Or they got the tools on, they want to take them off, they don't know what to do. So we provided a coaching platform, if you will. It's a paid group, paid training, but we take them and we help them level up to either scale their company or take the tools off and get into the business side of these things. And it's tailored to blue collar industry pros or home service pros, because that's my whole background. You know what I mean? I can't help with what I don't have experience in, but I'm really excited about it. It's still really, really new. I mean, we've only got a couple people that are involved, but hopefully this time next year, we'll be talking about a couple hundred, have our own stages. I mean, who knows? Maybe you'll be on those stages. You know what I mean? If you would be willing to grace us with your presence. But this is something that's really important to me, because not only is it something I'm interested in, I do love teaching, I love the sales aspect of it, but I like working with young men, specifically people that know a struggle. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It could just be somebody watching them flourish from kind of struggling to put a couple dollars together and then seeing them go from that to real success. And I'm not talking about just financial, but hopefully working with them to be good men, good women, good family people, and by setting that example, and then it holds me accountable. I'm getting married next week. You're talking about what I got going on. I'm getting married next week. You know what I mean? To a girl that I didn't think I literally have a message in my phone that she'd call the cops on me if I showed up to her graduation party like 6 years ago. So, and she's an attorney, so that probably wouldn't work out very well for me. But, we're getting married next Saturday, man. And so this is really This is the stuff that I'm most into, not to take away from PCR, because I'm very blessed and I'm very thankful and I love doing that, but working with other people and helping them grow is something I'm genuinely passionate about. I might not, sound like it right now, but trust and believe that it is something I'm very passionate about. You do a much better job at expressing that outwardly than I do, but I am very passionate about it.
Good deal. Ken, what else you got coming up? If people want to get a hold of you, events, come on. Tell us how we get a hold of you and what do you got coming up?
I'm really glad you asked that, because specifically to the local community, and that's exactly, that's the caveat. You have to be a neighbor, right? And so maybe there's something that we can figure out as well, but we're throwing an end of the year, end of summer party, if you will. But really we want it to be a block party. We want it to be for Crofton, Annapolis, neighbors, right? Our neighbors. You've been here 40 years. You know what I mean? You are a staple in this community. I'm sure everybody knows you. We've got 2.5, right? And admittedly, man, I just didn't do a good enough job getting to know my community, our community, like they know you. So we want to throw this party. We're going to make it free food, free stuff for all the kids. We just did a little version of that last weekend for our company, just to kind of test some of these things out. But we threw a crab feast for our people just to say thanks. But this is going to be a much bigger, again, completely free. We'll raffle off a roof. But again, the caveat is you have to be a local neighbor.
Contractor?
Yes. Well, you just got to live here, right? You don't got to be a contractor. We just want to get to know our clients, right? That's it. And we're not going to try to sell anybody anything. We'll have a booth there. If you want to set up an estimate, great. Genuinely, we just want you to come out, eat, break bread with our family, get to meet our local community members. And hopefully you guys think of us, when you have the next roof project or bathroom project. That's it. We want to do a good job of putting ourselves out there so they think of us like they think of you. You know what I mean? Like, you're the staple in this community. I haven't done a good enough job. I'm going to start, and that's how we're going to start doing it. Well, hopefully it's a big thing we can do annually.
Well, we're going to be there. I know you, but for our audience out there that doesn't know you and/or your event, how do they get a hold of you, Ken?
So they can go to Ken Baden Motivation on Instagram, and they can go to Kenny Baden on Facebook. And if they were looking for the company specific, it's very simple. It's Potomac Custom Remodeling.com. That's what PCR stands for, Potomac Custom Remodeling.com.
So everybody out there in the audience is listening to this today, come on out. It's going to be at the end of the summer.
September 19th.
When?
September 19th.
Okay. All right. Late summer, almost the beginning of fall.
That's the point, man. End of summer kickoff, end of summer party. We got to get you guys out there, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You guys
we're definitely going to be there.
Awesome.
Count on us. We appreciate you coming in today to the studio, Ken, and saying hello to everybody.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we'll be seeing you around town since we know each other, and
Yes,
we'll keep it up. This wraps up another episode of the Bob Carr Show, and we'll see you next week on another episode.